Hey y'all, and welcome to Monner's Market, and welcome to Bloom with Grace. I am so sad to say that this is going to be my last Bloom with Grace playlist, but I have had a wonderful time over the past year and several months, and I'm so glad that Brandy, with Making It My Own DIYs, is my final co-host. She is extremely talented. I love watching her videos. She has the most amazing DIYs, and I always love her thumbnails that she uses. She's so talented. So thank you, Brandy. You guys go show her some love. Now let's get into my first DIY. Oh, she picked Magnolias for our Bloom of the month. So my first Magnolia DIY is this little box that I'm doing with 2 crates from the Dollar Tree. Now I had something else in mind, so I'm only going to use the antique wax on this particular one. I'm going to use 2 crates, and I am going to paint them with the antique wax. Now, if you've never used antique wax before, the best way to use it on wood is to wipe it on with a baby wipe. But it was kind of hard to get down into all of those cracks and crevices with the baby wipe, so I just decided to use a paintbrush and go in and paint it on, and then use the baby wipe to wipe it off. And when you wipe that excess paint off, it just brings out the wood and all of the detail in the wood, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Antique wax is one of my favorite stains to work with, and it's just like using any other stain that you buy from the store, except it's a little bit thicker, and like I said, you end up having to wipe it off. Now, I didn't know if I wanted to do it side by side or on top of each other, so I decided to do it on top of each other, and I ordered these Magnolia napkins from Amazon. They will be linked in my Amazon store, and they are absolutely gorgeous. However, I wish I would have painted the box white, because once I got it on the box, you really couldn't even hardly see the Magnolias. You can in person, like in person you can see them really well, but I could not get it to show up on my video to save my life. Like, it looks very washed out, but in person it's not at all washed out, and you can really see it good. So I'm just taking some Mod Podge on the front of these crates, and I'm just Mod Podging it down. Then I'm going to take a little hand sander and just go around the edge, and like you see, just wiping across it, and it gives it the most smooth, amazing finish. Now I'm going to take my scissors and just go down those creases in those, you know, like the crate creases, if I can say that without getting tongue-tied. So I'm just going to go through those creases and bring out the detail in that box. And it started ripping because I didn't let it quite dry. I am such an impatient crafter, it's ridiculous, but it worked anyway. And like I said, you can see it really beautifully here at home, but for whatever reason I could not get my camera to pick up the beauty in that napkin. So anyway, once I got the napkin on, I only done it on the front. I took this beautiful ribbon that I got from BB Crafts way back when I first become a BB Craft ambassador, and I just haven't used this particular ribbon yet. So I got one line around it, and I thought, you know what, I just want to add about 3 or 4 strands of this twine going around it, just to give it, I love farmhouse. Like, farmhouse is my deal. Like, I love farmhouse. Then I'm just making me a little finger bow where you just take your twine and wrap it around your finger 9 or 10 times, and you just tie a little piece of twine around the middle, and you have yourself a little finger bow. This is just a random piece of greenery that I had that I'm going to glue down, and these berries you can get from the Dollar Tree right now. And I just threw a couple berries on there, threw my little finger bow on there, and that's all I done to the box itself. And then I'm going to take some foam, some styrofoam that you can get from the Dollar Tree, and cut it down to size and stick it in there. And I found these gorgeous olive picks from Hobby Lobby. And I always get things when they're 50% off at Hobby Lobby. Don't ever pay full price for Hobby Lobby, because they have half the store on sale for 2 weeks, and then they have the other half of the store on sale the next 2 weeks. Now, these Magnolias came from Amazon. And again, they will be linked in my Amazon store below. But I thought these were so pretty, and I just added them to the front of those olive picks. And then I had to use a couple of these gorgeous pumpkins that the Dollar Tree has right now. I love these things. So I put sort of the medium colored brown and then one of the whites in there. And oh my goodness, it just turned out so beautiful. It was the cutest little centerpiece, and I love it. I'm a Magnolia fan. And I wish you could see the detail of that daggum napkin on the front of that. It turned out so pretty, and I was so aggravated that I couldn't really, like get the picture to where you could see it. But I love it, and those little pumpkins to me just like topped the whole thing off. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about this first DIY. Did you like the pumpkins in it, or would you have left the pumpkins out? I always love your opinion on my DIYs, to see how you would do things versus how I do things, because I do listen and I do learn a lot, and I do use a lot of your advice. Now let's get into DIY number 2, my favorite. You guys, if you've ever watched me before, you know I love to make risers. Risers and beaded garland are probably my 2 favorite things. Now that little tag says $2.99, but I actually got it half off for $1.50. I do everything that I get from Goodwill. I go on Senior Day and get it half off. Now, they used to do Senior Day once a week. Now they've got to where they're doing it like once every 2 weeks. And I heard that mine is going to be doing it once a month now. So, but anyway, it's not a big deal. Now that round that you see right there, it's 18 inches round, and it's 12 inches round. And it came from Hobby Lobby, and there's 6 in it for $4.99. Super duper cheap. Again, I paid half price, so I paid $2.50 for all of those wood rounds. And you can do so many things. You can make signs, you can make risers, you can make all kind of stuff with those things. So I always have several on hand. Now I'm using the Ivory chalk paint by Waverly to paint that candlestick. And then I'm going to go in with my antique wax and just bring out this beautiful wood in this wood round. Now let me tell you, while I'm painting this wood round, what happened. I ordered, and I quote, Magnolia stickers from Amazon. And I was so excited, but I didn't open them until today. Today that I'm filming is Friday, the day before Bloom with Grace tomorrow, not even like 12 hours from now. It's not Magnolias, but it's close enough, and I didn't have time to rethink anything because I've been really sick and I had to have a procedure done at the hospital, and just haven't had time to really prepare for this video, so I apologize ahead of time. That's just me sitting there thumping my fingers like, what am I going to do now? That's not Magnolias. But you know what? I just went with it, and we're just going to pretend like they're Magnolias. So it's this cute little scenery. It has a bird, and it's on a limb, as you see, and there's a little bird cage hanging, a little birdhouse hanging down. So I just went with it. I just put it on there, and we're going to call them our little fake Magnolias. So I'm going in with this glossy Mod Podge, and I'm going to go all over the top with a really thick coat. And what that's going to do is 2 things. It's going to seal down my stickers, which were really sticky, believe it or not. And it's going to give it a really nice finish where it all looks the same. You can't even really tell it's stickers once I get that Mod Podge on there, because I did a really heavy coat and it dried with this beautiful satin finish. And then I took the candlestick and I just glued it to the bottom after I kind of measured to see where the middle was. I glued it to the bottom, and that was literally it. I mean, let's see, 150. I don't even think I've got $2.50. Well, yeah, probably with the stickers I do. I've probably got about $5 in this whole riser, and it is huge and beautiful, and I love it, and I cannot wait to hear down in the comments what you think about the way this riser turned out. So again, pretend those are magnolias, because that's what they sold me, was magnolia. Maybe they're just puny magnolias that are falling apart at fall. I don't know. But it said magnolia on the thing when I ordered it, and the paper said magnolia whenever I got it. So I'm eager to hear what you think about these faux magnolias. That's what I'm going to call them. But I do love the way this riser turned out, no matter what kind of flowers those are. If somebody knows, let me know down in the comments what kind of flowers those are. Now let's get into my last and final DIY number 3, this cute little rolling pin. Now, I don't know if you can see on there, you will in just a few minutes, the magnolias that are on there. So the first thing I'm going to do is use some ivory chalk paint by Waverly, and I'm going to give it a really heavy, basically a dry brush is what I'm going to do. I'm not covering the whole thing. I'm just giving it a real sloppy coat of paint, but I'm not covering the whole thing. I just want to have a good enough background that you can see that beautiful rub-on transfer, but I don't want it to be all over, if that makes any sense. So then I'm going to do the edges, and then I'm going to take that antique wax that I've been using through the whole video, and I'm going to do my little handles to bring those colors all together in one cute little vignette when I'm done. So once I get the antique wax on my handles and all of that paint dries, the handles dry and everything, then I'm going to go in with this absolutely gorgeous. I've seen them a million times. I've had several of them, and I usually end up cutting it up into big chunks and pieces, but this I kept whole. Now, I don't know if you can see the magnolias on there, but it has a couple of really pretty magnolias on it. So I just wrapped the whole entire rub-on transfer around my rolling pin and just rub with a stick and my fingernail and whatever else I used. I tied a little piece of twine on the tip end of each rolling pin, like handle, and that was it. It could not have been more easy to make this gorgeous little rolling pin. Now that one at the top left was Sammy's from Unicorn Dust Designs. That's where I got my inspiration for this from, because she made one like this. But if you look as I'm filming here, you will see the magnolia right there. Isn't that gorgeous? There's a couple of them on there. And I just love the way this turned out. It's so rustic, so farmhouse, so beautiful, so dainty. And this was a really, really old rolling pin that I got from the Goodwill for, I think, like 50 cents. So again, I don't even have $2 in this whole rolling pin. So let me know what you think about this final DIY down in the comments below. Now I'm going to show you my final reveal and let you see everything together and how it all came together. And I cannot wait to hear what you think about all of this down in the description box, or the comment section, should I say. So one more time, I want to thank Brandy for making it my own DIYs, for being my final co-host with Bloom with Grace. I am so happy that you decided to join me, and thank you to all of the other talented ladies who have joined us today for this playlist. Be sure to go down to the link in the description box and click on it so you can see what everyone has created for you today. Let me know which one of these are your favorite. I think probably the riser. I don't know though. I love the rolling pin. That's a hard one. But let me know either way what you think about these and which one is your favorite. I always like to hear what your favorite is. But thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I'm so tickled that you're here. If you are new to my channel, and you've never seen or heard of me before, my name is Brenda, but my sweet grandbabies call me Monner, and I'm so glad to have you. Stick around, subscribe, like, comment, share, all the good things that cause YouTube to recognize my channel a little more. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Be blessed. Bye now.